Hey, Pistol, huh? Last time I get shut out, what happened? Paul take me out. Don't play me, huh? Dollars come in, we lose, huh? What happened this time? I get a shutout last night. I'm out again, huh? That's it. I go back to being 4-goal Bob.
We're hanging overtime! We're hanging overtime! We're hanging overtime!
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Puck drop. And 3, 2, 1.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
All right, Panther fans, you're all ejected. Everybody, just get the hell off the ice. All right, so we've got the Leafs tonight, and like you've heard, I'm really surprised. I suppose that Maurice would have talked to Bobrovsky and said, "Hey, can you go?" Or maybe Maurice just has no interest in whatever Bubba has to say, and this was the plan all the way along. Doesn't make a lot of sense. But it is what it is because we've got the Canadians on Thursday. Bob didn't, he had a nice game yesterday, gets a shutout. And like I said, so Stolarz is in net. Hopefully he does well. Hopefully, to save you all the grief and aggravation of me telling you I told you so, Stolarz does well. And we get another big 2 points. There's no other changes, which I'm happy to report. There are likely to be no other changes for quite some time unless we get an injury because Patrick Kane did not sign with us. He went to Detroit, as you all know. And I'm happy. I'm happy about that, all right? Kane is obviously, I'm going to assume he was more interested in the extra $1 million. Look, he's 34, 35, coming off of a surgery that nobody has ever had success really coming back from. And putting him into the lineup would have put Cousins back on the fourth line and moved Gadjevich from the lineup, which I'm not interested in him being off the ice. I think that's a nice Zito find, and that line of Lomberg, Stenwith with Gadjevich, I love it. What do we need? Well, what we need is this few of the other guys in the top 9 to start carrying their weight. Anton Lundell, just, a couple of goals, Anton, okay? I get the fact that you're spectacular on defense and you're still a developing player. That's all fine, well, and good. But can you get us 15? Can you get us 15 goals as our 3C, all right? Anton needs to put the puck in the back of the net. I know Chucky is tearing it up with the assists, which, by the way, I've cracked the joke twice today that Chucky is going to do. He's going to put the last nail in Jonathan Huberdeau's mental health and break Huberdeau's assist record. You heard it here first. It wouldn't shock me if that happens. But we do need a few of these guys in the top 9 to start putting the puck in the back of the net a little bit more. I know we scored some goals last night, but it's been few and far between the nights that we're getting 5 goals. And then maybe if those guys score a little bit more, we don't have to worry about messing with the chemistry of the top 9, which is basically the same top 9 from the playoffs last year, with the exception of Rodriguez and Duclair. So I'm happy that Kane did not sign, and now we can stop having to talk about it, and that's good news. Defense looks good. Kulikov came in like we know last game. No changes expected there. I don't expect that we're going to have the physicality that we had last night, but you never know. You absolutely never know. This is going to be a completely different game. I hope that they are still on the emotional high. They get 2 points, and then we'll see how we play in against Montreal. That's a game that could be a trap game. Wouldn't surprise me if we had to go to overtime to beat Montreal in that game. What do we need out of tonight? Stolarz, look. I like you, bud. All right, it's nothing personal. It's just Bob gets a shutout, we take him out. We lost. Bob got a shutout, we take him out. And 2 points. All right, so it's 1-0 Panthers after 1. I'm not going to praise the goaltender. In fact, I'm going to continue to bitch about the fact that Stolarz is in net and Bob is not. We look pretty good so far. It definitely looks like we're keeping the same energy from last night. There's already been a couple of little minor, face wash things. Gotta keep an eye looking out for that. We got a penalty here right at the end of the period. Too many men on the ice. Kind of a ticky-tacky, wishy-washy call. But I was just thinking it, and it was stupid of me for thinking it. I was just thinking, there hadn't been any penalties yet. Wouldn't take too long before we're going to get called, and sure enough. So Toronto's going to have about a minute and a half to start the period, and second period on the power play. I feel good about this game so far. Toronto, it looks very much like a repeat of last night defensively for the Panthers. Not a lot of zone time going on for the opposing team. Stolarz, not praising him. Let's move on to second period and see how this goes. All right, so it's 1-1 after 2. I think both sides will take it because I know Toronto hit the post and the crossbar in the same shift. Panthers had a 4-minute, double minor that Toronto killed off. We've had opportunities 2 times where we've had a cross-ice pass through the crease to a guy wide open on the other side of the net with a gaping half of a net open, and both times our shooter just completely whiffed. One time was Rodriguez. I'm not sure who the second one was right now. If we could get 1 goal for every 20 chances combined that Lundell and Rodriguez don't put the puck in the back of the net, give me 1 goal out of the 20 times, and we'd win every game. Like we there would be an extra goal, maybe an extra 2 goals per game. I know Lundell's game. I don't know Rodriguez's game enough to know if he's just snake bit or if this is his game. But the problem is that between the 3 of them, Lundell, Luosterainen, and Rodriguez. Now Luosterainen's had a couple of goals here recently, but Lundell and Rodriguez just get chance after chance after chance after chance, and they just, especially Lundell, just cannot shoot the puck where the goalie is not. It's not like he's making the goalies really work for the save. It's right into the pads, it's right into the belly. I just keep bitching about the kid till he get a goal. Let's move on to third period. You know what this is. This smells like overtime to me.
We are going to overtime! Oh, we are going to the shootout, and it is my favorite part of the game!
So, let's look at it this way, Panther fans. We're the talk of the league 2 games in a row now. Okay. Why even talk about the game? Let's just talk about the end, right? So, look. Obviously, we're streaming the game. Obviously, we're yelling and screaming, 2 points, the whole thing. People are super chatting. We're having a great time. And much like, I forget who scored the goal. It was one of the overtime playoff games, right? One of the overtime playoff games, was it the Stanley Cup game? No. One of the overtime playoff games, Lomberg scored a goal. And we thought we had won, and they called it back. It was the 4 overtime game. That's right. It was the game against Carolina. Wasn't it Lomberg that scored a goal? And then they got called back, and then we had to keep playing. So that eerie feeling of when you're celebrating and you're watching the TV and you're noticing the broadcast is not exactly doing what it's supposed to do when the game is over. And then I see the refs with the freaking iPad, and I'm like, son of a bitch. And the craziest, most impossible, ridiculously absurd, stupid thing happens. Rodriguez somehow manages to hit the puck twice with his stick without moving the puck a second time. He takes the shot, and his stick is still moving forward. The puck goes off of Woll's pads, bounces back, hits Rodriguez's stick that was still just moving forward. It's not like he double tapped it, but he double tapped it. And the refs decide to review it. And I don't know who makes that decision. I mean, he hit it twice. It wasn't his fault. It was an accident. I wouldn't be surprised if the NHL was like, maybe we should change the rule to where, like, he has to try to hit it twice. Remember, like, remember it used to be if it hits your skate, it's not a goal. Now it's distinct kicking motion. Maybe they'll look at that. I don't know. I don't know if that's ever happened before. It wouldn't happen in a playoff game because you don't have the shootouts in a playoff game. To be honest with you, my irritation, my aggravation, my frustration, my consternation, and my apoplectic nation, which is not a word, is on Paul Maurice with sending out Nick Cousins, of all frickin' people, with the game on the line after everything is all discombobulated. The guys are having to come back from the locker room. I mean, the Leafs get the winning goal in the shootout. Half the team was in the locker room, and he sends Nick Cousins out there. Now, some people say, why not Verhaeghe? Some people say, well, Verhaeghe hasn't done well in the shootout. Sam Bennett, Aaron Ekblad, Gustav Forsling, and Brandon Montour, and Kevin Stenlund, and Ryan Lomberg, all of those guys, just off the top of my head, unfortunately have more finishing talent than Nick Cousins does. But he sends Cousins out there, not entirely his fault, and pissed off Maurice goes off into the sunset, and we get a point. We get a point. And it was a good game. It was one of the better 1-1 games that you'll see. I hate that these games end in the shootout because it's not even close to hockey. At least 3-on-3 is hockey, which we didn't have. We had 3-on-3, then we had 4-on-3. I think we had some. I don't know, man. The overtime was all screwy because of the penalties that were called before the regulation was over. Everybody had chances, and nobody had any gas left in the tank by the end of the 3-on-3 session, and so the Leafs get the extra point. I mean, it is what it is. It's just abject frustration. But like Kyle said, Kyle is usually very succinct. You know what I'm trying to say. He's usually very good at summarizing things. And to summarize, maybe we should have scored more than one goal. Maybe we should have scored more than one goal. Okay? You know, it would help, right, if we scored more than one goal. Anton Lundell, 5-6 shots on goal, can't put the puck in the back of the net. Couldn't score in the shootout either. Okay, he just can't. All he sees is goalie. Like, he can't shoot it anywhere but into the goalie. It's incredible. And, you know, we had some opportunities. It was back and forth in that third period. Chances after chances. Stolars played well. Woll played well. And somebody has to win because they got to go to the shootout, and eventually somebody has to win. And that wasn't the craziest thing I've ever seen. In fact, it wasn't even the craziest thing I've seen this year because last night everybody got ejected. So, I mean, what that's two. What's going to happen in Montreal? What's the trifecta, right? Which, by the way, before I forget, I would like to make a suggestion to Mr. Domi. If you're going to sucker punch somebody in the face, probably shouldn't be Sam Bennett because you got your ass whooped, okay? Not whooped, whooped did, okay? If you're going to sucker punch somebody, Sam Bennett is probably the last person on the face of the earth that you want to sucker punch because, number one, you know he's going to come for you, and number two, he ain't going to show no mercy. Oh, you fell down? Get back up so I can punch you in the back of the head again. All right? Don't pick a fight with Sam Bennett. It's not smart. It's just not smart at all. We had a good time. So let's see. There's a 3-game road trip in Canada. Game 1, everybody gets ejected. Game 2, somebody can tell me if they've ever seen a shootout end like that before. So what's Game 3? I mean, The Panthers have their passports, taken away, and they get stuck in Montreal. I mean, what the hell is going to happen on the ice game 3, man? I don't know what the hell is going on, but it's good for content. You guys are watching, so I'm not complaining. It sucks to lose, especially when you're screaming 2 points, but. It was just weird, man, because we're screaming 2 points, and I said, Kyle, give me 5. And he gives me 5, and as he's giving me 5, this eye caught the refs looking at the iPad, and I'm like, you sons of bitches. You sons of bitches. Unbelievable. So, and the thing of it is, guys, this is a 50 to 75% chance that round 1 is Panthers versus Leafs. Now, what I will say is that at least now we know Stolarz can put up just as good of a fight as Bubba Brewski, right? So whether or not Bob would have done any different in the shootout, you're not going to pull your goalie then at that point. So at that point is mute. But I definitely think I'm comfortable now as far as what I'm seeing with Stolarz so far, that if we had to roll with him in a playoff game or 2 if something was to happen, or like Alex Lyon did last year, Stolarz is certainly a gamer and can give us a chance to win. And honestly, Toronto fans, I mean, with all joking set aside, if I was Toronto, I would be yelling, I want Florida again, we want Florida again, because if Boston is at number 1 and 2 and 3 is Toronto and Florida, then most likely Tampa would get stuck getting their asses handed to them by the Bruins in the first round. So it wouldn't be surprised. We'll see what the Lightning do with Vasilevsky, but this is a very possible playoff preview. And so we beat the Leafs the first game that we played you guys this year, and then this one you guys get the extra point. And I mean, I want to bitch and complain because it's the craziest thing. It's a double tap without a double move. You know what I mean? I mean, his stick hit the puck twice, but he never it was one motion. It was just impossible to happen. But when you think about it, when you think about it in terms of what's the word I'm looking for? Ergonomics is not quite the word I'm looking for. But when you think about it, he made the save, right? Because the puck bounced back out, okay? So if Rodriguez's stick isn't there, even though it was still moving forward, if he lifts his stick, there's no goal. Ball made the save. So, son of a bitch. Just what a couple of nights. Good God Almighty. What a couple of crazy nights. It's fun, though. It's enjoyable. It's good fun. It's good regular season stuff. We had 104 people on the stream by the end of the night. Kyle's still streaming. He's finishing things up. And it's good. It's a good rivalry. Both teams pretty much, I mean, it's pretty much even, Steven, right? But everybody had chances. Both teams have reasons to bitch about the referees, not the shootout thing, but both teams got called for some cross-eyed calls. The Panthers got called for the too many men. That should not have been called. It was something that they normally let go. And there was the 4-minute double minor. Of course, if you're a Leafs fan, you're going to think that it was high sticking. And technically it kind of was, except for his stick wasn't really that high. It was more that the player kind of fell into his stick. I didn't see blood, but they give him 4 minutes, whatever. I mean, all of that just played into, it was 1-1 at the end of regulation. And had that been a playoff game, who knows what's going to happen. So I'm happy with the way we played. I'm sure the Leafs are happy with the way they played. And we didn't really learn anything from this game other than if we meet in the playoffs, there's going to be a lot of overtime games. We should just start them all in overtime and just do it that way. It'd just be a lot easier. So, all right. I'm not mad. I can't. You know what? And it's a different experience now being a Panther fan. And I don't mean this as an insult, Leaf fans. I genuinely don't. But I'm sure if you asked any team that's made it to the Cup in the last 5 years, 8 years, whatever, fans of those teams, the regular season takes on a little bit of a different feel. You're not as life and death with every single game. You know what I mean? You have a little bit more of that feeling of, make the playoffs, and you just got to get to the playoffs and see what happens. The Panthers are the perfect example of that, right? Just get in and then play your best game. So I don't get as overly animated and concerned about things like the point tonight. Okay, you know what I mean? I mean, even if at the end of the year it means Toronto's at 2 and Florida's at 3, and Toronto would have Game 7 in Toronto. I mean, it's like we ain't exactly afraid of going to Toronto or Boston. We don't want to go into Vegas, though. We're not interested in going to Vegas. That we'll pass on. But so I'm not mad. It was a good game. We had a fun time. It's just a crazy ending. I mean, you can't write this for people who think the league is scripted. Watch the last 2 games. It ain't no. You can't script that. It was. You can't do anything but laugh. All right, Stu and I will be live for the members and Patreon supporters, live 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. We do the reviews live, and then we put them out later on the channel. Links are in the description. It's $3 a month. We've got over 200 members, and when you count the Patreon people, I think we're close to 240 people now. Thanks to a lot of people who've been handing out memberships on the streams. So thank you all. I really genuinely appreciate that. And I hope that the daily podcast that I put out I hope that convinces you that when the free trial to your membership expires, you will consider continuing to support the channel. But if not, that's okay too. I appreciate everybody that comes around. So we will have that, and then I'll have the podcast out tomorrow. There's no hockey tomorrow, and then we got Montreal on Thursday. So Panthers get a point. I'm not mad. I can't be mad. I am mad that he sent Nick Cousins out there. That's the only thing, is I have to be mad about something. Nick, that's gonna rub me the wrong way for a little while.